Hey there again. It's a nice morning here in Alpha City, and we're at the site of the first gold farm building, which is finished and working. So today, it's time for a tour. It's one of my most complex projects so far, and it involves my three favorite things in Minecraft: redstone machines, villagers, and architecture and design. There's machinery to harvest, process, and store the farm's output. I love machines in real life, so I'm already biased. Villager job site blocks give villagers jobs and keep them close for trading while keeping them free. And they also make the city more active and dynamic. Essentially, they're what makes it a city. And then there's the design, the architecture, the geometry. A nice aesthetic inside and out are a large part of the point for me. I don't want to build one giant item farm or a giant storage hall in a lifeless cave. And I certainly don't want a villager trading hall that is essentially a large prison. I'm building a city that is dynamic and attractive. I want to have to go from store to store, from house to house, just like in a real city. I want free, moving villagers making activity, movement, and life. I want to hear the sounds of machines, doors, footsteps, and villager gossip. And I want it to be an attractive, enjoyable place to live, work, and play in. There are many resources in Minecraft that are necessary or just enhance gameplay. Gold is one of those resources. Besides mining and smelting gold ore, there are a few other ways to acquire gold, and this is the method that seems to provide a steady stream of gold, and it works for my world. A block of gold is mainly decorative. Gold ingots are crucial for trading to villagers and for bartering with piglins. And gold ingots are ingredients in several devices: powered rail, pressure plates, and clocks, and in golden apples. Gold nuggets are also an ingredient in food and potions in the form of golden carrots and glistering melons. They're also an ingredient in fireworks stars. Gold nuggets are obtained by melting down gold swords, tools, and other armor. The farm also produces large amounts of rotten flesh. That's what this building is all about: acquiring gold items, then sorting, processing, and storing them. It also collects large amounts of rotten flesh, which can be traded to cleric villagers for emeralds, and some will buy gold. That's why all of the job site blocks in the building are for clerics. Now that it's complete, I'm going to take you on a tour of the whole facility, and we'll see the entire journey a gold item takes, from deep underground to the processing equipment in the upper floors to the final storage silos. And finally, we'll take a walk around the outside, the lobby, and the villager employee job sites. We'll start down below. I'll be using this representation to show you around. Think of it as a vertical map. It's a cross-section, but it's been simplified a lot. We'll start the tour in the basement at the subterranean elevators. Here in the basement, the tops of the subterranean elevator shafts are located directly beneath the bottoms of the above-ground elevator shafts, which are on the first floor. The basement is accessed by a ladder shaft, which also serves as a backup in case the elevators can't be used. The elevation of the ground floor is at Y level 70. I'm going to take the elevator to Y level 56, which is the tops of the Nether Portals. It's also roughly at the upper subway level, which is about 3 stories down in most places. Here, mine carts will bring freight into a sub-basement that will be loosely partitioned from this cavern. The freight will be gold items from other buildings and charcoal fuel. There may also be outgoing freight to provide raw ingredients to other facilities. Over this way is the first portal system. I wanted to show you because it's just pretty. That's why I put it in the glass floor. It's a cluster of 12 portals, 23 blocks tall, and arranged in 3 concentric squares. There's a ladder shaft and an item elevator running through the center. The newest is a large cluster of 7 portals sandwiched together, as tall as a 6-story building. It's smaller than the first cluster with 3 times the spawning spaces. I realized this configuration was possible after I discovered the talents of the snow golems, which you'll meet down below. It's not as pretty as the others. Each of the 3 iterations had separate collection systems, separate designs, and it was all a messy tangle. The new building brings all of this together more efficiently and with improved output. Let's go down to the spawning level, which is at the bottoms of the portals, and we'll see where the zombified piglins spawn and how they're lured into the system. Keep in mind that this representation is not to scale. The portal system is actually 3 times the width of the building. The portals are between 23 and 26 blocks tall, or about 5 to 6 stories. So the next elevator takes us down to Y level 33. This is where the zombified piglins are aggroed, which means that they're aggravated to attack. When they try to get to the snow golem, they fall through several trap doors. They fall into a collection area where the water gathers them to an open shaft and a 28-block fall. I promised you'd meet my snow golems, so before we go on, let me introduce you. Snow golems are one of the mobs which aren't spawned naturally, but is spawned by the player. They have to be constructed by stacking 2 snow blocks and a jack-o'-lantern. And wherever they walk, they leave a trail of snow. Snow golems attack any hostile mob, like zombified piglins, by throwing snowballs. They spawn the snowballs into existence so they have an endless supply. I tried this at the old cluster of portals, which is in a savanna biome, and I learned the hard way that snow golems melt in hot biomes like savanna or desert. It was messy. That's why the new cluster of portals is in a cool forest biome. Now we'll go down to Y level 7, to the item collection area. And this is where the zombified piglins fall to their death. Or, since they're already undead, I suppose they fall to their undeath? The drops are collected in water streams and transported to the item elevator, which we built in another video. And they are taken all the way to the top of the building on the surface, to the processing equipment on the 4th floor. I don't need to show this, it's just fun. Now I'll meet you on the 4th floor. Once the items reach the top, they flow into a hopper line, which acts as kind of like a pipe for the items. On the roof, I put solid blocks over the hopper line, which is standard practice to keep stray items from falling in. I purposely allow equipment like this to spill out onto the roofs of buildings. Instead of just being decorations, though, this is equipment that actually works and has a reason to be here. The items then pass through these mechanical sorters, which direct them into different silos. The sorter modules are called impulse sorters, named for the player who invented them, the famous Impulse. The 6 modules here sort out from left to right gold blocks, iron nuggets, gold ingots, gold nuggets, rotten flesh, and charcoal. Iron nuggets are produced from the iron armor, tools, and weapons that arrive through the freight subways, mixed in with gold items. The iron nugget silo bypasses the bank and ends in the basement. It will eventually continue to the subway and will simply empty into a waiting reserved minecart to be shipped to Central Iron. The charcoal is sorted out and directed to the furnaces. So essentially the machinery sorts out and loads its own fuel. Gold swords, as well as gold and iron armor, tools, and other weapons, continue on to the smelters as a raw material. The automatic smelting machinery is my own design. It consists of 25 furnace modules fed by a count-to-8 circuit that I invented. The counting circuit is based on the Etho hopper clock, a timer invented by the great Etho. See, it's extremely difficult to count items accurately with redstone. I realized that a timer essentially counts time steps, and from there, it was just a small change to count items. When the machinery has taken in enough items, which are gold swords and armor pieces, the counter is triggered, and all 25 furnaces are loaded with 8 items each. The reasons for these numbers is about speed and efficiency. The hopper line inputting items can move 2.5 items per second. A furnace takes 10 seconds to smelt or melt 1 item. That means that 25 furnaces working simultaneously will keep up with the 2.5 item per second input. Each of these furnaces, which are on the 3rd floor, are loaded with 8 items at a time because one piece of charcoal burns for 80 seconds, enough to smelt 8 items with 0 waste. Each time the mechanism is triggered, 200 items are melted into gold nuggets in the furnaces here on the 3rd floor. The nuggets are sent back into the system and sorted into their silo. The 2nd floor is primarily a continuation of the silos and some job sites. And the bottoms of the silos end up on the 1st floor. In the back of the 1st floor are several more job site blocks. In this case, these are villagers who will buy gold bars and rotten flesh for emeralds, which is the villagers' currency. Behind the counter are several more job sites for tellers, and the chests, which are silo access, withdrawals, I suppose, which can be reached from the lobby on the other side of the counter. In the early and mid-20th century, there was a bank in my hometown called the First Trust and Deposit Company. There were many branches in every neighborhood, and they were all nice architecture. First Trust is gone, but all of the buildings still stand. I tried to capture the theme of First Trust in this build. Everybody's at work now. I built the 2-story lobby to emulate those in some First Trusts, with a gallery, balcony, or windows on the 2nd floor looking down at the lobby. The 2 chandeliers are made with gold-colored blocks and an actual block of gold. Items can be put in manually with a deposit box in the corner, which pushes items into the item elevator. The item elevator, which you've seen in video and still shots of its construction, is a standard Minecraft bubble column elevator. It runs from Y level 2 up to the roof. I designed the building so that the item elevator runs through the lobby because it's fun to watch. I imagine that the customer would be entertained and impressed by the gold items and the bank's profitability. The teller counters, in addition to having job site blocks, are located at a strategic distance from the withdrawal boxes for easy player access. In case you didn't guess, this wall pattern is actually giant mushroom stem blocks. The small variations in color and patterns makes things more interesting with just a small change in detail. Though First Trust branches didn't have stained glass, a couple of them had leaded glass, and this is working for me this week. All of this is in a Minecraft version of a neoclassical building made from various nether quartz blocks. It's meant to emulate a steel frame building circa 1930 that looks like marble with fluted columns, pediment, and modern offices and equipment above. The north side and back of the building are mostly blank wall. It's common practice in real life to only decorate the street sides of a city building. The sides that the public doesn't see are left pretty blank and made with cheaper materials. For the most part, those sides are in the middle of the block with an alley or other buildings up against it. Here, there will eventually be attached buildings. In case you wondered, the andesite stripes are backs of the elevator shafts. The side street elevation is less ornate than the front, but still has to look nice to the public. I like the odd geometry on this side. The third floor across the street gives a different perspective and a clear view of the equipment upstairs. It's sometimes very difficult to get details into a Minecraft build, especially when you're building on the player-villager scale. Many details have to be trimmed or just hinted at using big 1 cubic meter blocks. And getting the activity and lighting right isn't easy either. Sculpting the right aesthetic takes a lot of time. To me, this was worth it. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I started this project before I was making videos, but you've seen a lot of it. The next video will be the second installment of the Map Theaters build. After that, instead of going on to a third theater video, I want to make the first video of a new project. I like the idea of having 3 simultaneous projects that I'm making videos of, and I will mention other off-camera projects from time to time though. Instead of starting the new charcoal plant, I think I want to start work on a tropical fish store, which will involve a lot of swimming in the ocean, and the job of rebuilding the fast food carrot restaurant on Market Square, and installing the next gen of farm equipment. I'm not exactly sure. I'll meditate about it and try to imagine myself already building them. That helps. I hope you found this video to be interesting and fun. See you next time. Later. Time to sleep. I'm late to bed tonight. Okay, let's go make some more video. Well. Oh. Sorry, officer. Didn't see you there. Waiting till the right time of day so the light is on the building just the right way. The shadows are moving way too slow for me. Waiting here for the shadows to come off the building. The right time of day. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I started this project before I started making... Thanks a lot for photobombing. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I started this project before I started making videos. Thanks. Waiting for the shadows to get in the right direction so I can have some sun. They're going slow. Alright, waiting for the shadow to get out of the picture so that I can make the video.